Matt Macon's here. Time for a daily shower. What are we worried about this time? Well, there's going to be an impactful storm system this week and again next week. First off, 7th, 8th, 9th, we'll be watching an area throughout the Midwest and upper Midwest. That will be bringing some impacts, as well as out near California up through Washington. We'll have more on that storm in just a moment. I want to thank you for building this community with me. I'm not going to beg you to subscribe.
Jake, God knows I don't ask you for much. Now, come on, please, Jerry. I'm begging you, please. Come on, please.
All right, let's get to the heart of the matter. This is a look at the precip across the country through the next 3 days, through Saturday. Now, as we look at the West Coast, certainly a lot of water on the way. We'll have more on that in a moment. We'll certainly be tracking heavier areas of rainfall from Oklahoma City, stretching towards St. Louis and out past Nashville. It's this area throughout Iowa that may be problematic. A little bit more wintry. We'll have chances for fog, chances for snow, chances for ice, chances for rain. There will be some travel impacts throughout Iowa. So I zoom the map in, and here's Mitchell, South Dakota. Here's Tomah and La Crosse, down to the south near Ames, stretching up towards St. Paul and Minneapolis. These yellow areas that are kind of focusing on kind of I-80 up to I-90 and up to the north. There will be a travel impact there over the coming days. We'll also have travel impacts across the western side of the country. There's Victoria and Everett, on down to the south along 5, all the way into California. We're going to have some travel impacts there for any section of the 5 that goes through the mountainous areas.
Take a closer look here at some of the snowfall. I'll come back to Iowa and Colorado in just a moment. I want to come into this bullseye here near Mount Shasta. So we're looking at the Sierras and the Pacific Range here. And then as you get closer to Mount Shasta, we're going to be looking at some healthy snowfall totals here of 2 to 3 feet of snow. And that's just over the next 3 days. So travelers, from Redding on up to Medford, if you're going to be passing through that area on 5, you know there's going to be some winter driving conditions there. Coastal areas will have rainfall. Valleys will have rainfall too. So a lot of water is coming into California. We're just looking at snowfall here. As you look from Medford, of course, the interstate kind of passes on the west side of the Cascades, but staying in the Cascades, anybody trying to get from Eugene over to Bend, Longview over to Yakima, or just leaving Seattle area, trying to pass over those mountain passes, there's going to be quite a bit of snowfall in here of 1 to 2 feet. On up to the north, you see a couple of more bullseyes here. So nice to see all that water there on our mountain ranges. Good water reservoir. Now, as we look down into Colorado, a couple to a few pockets here of several inches of snowfall the next 3 days. The San Juan, so Durango to Silverton, we'll have a pocket there of 6 to 12 more inches, and north into the flat tops and close to North Route and the mountain ranges around Steamboat Resort and whatnot, they will have chances for another 6 to 12 inches over the next several days. The impactful weather that's going to try to move through Iowa, and I just talked about the driving conditions here, not a lot of snowfall. We're looking at just kind of moderate, a couple to a few inches in some cases. It's more the factor that it's mixed. Snow, some ice, some rain, some fog, all that combines to give some winter driving conditions. But you can see any around St. Cloud and Minneapolis and St. Paul, and then, of course, down to the south, Mason City, Sioux Falls, kind of stretching out to almost Sheboygan. We're going to be looking at a couple to a few inches possible within that stretch there.
I actually wrote quite a bit more about Colorado specifically on weather5280.com. I break down current snowpack conditions, additional snow on the way, plus we're looking out for a storm system next week. Let's get to that more now. We're talking about the 13th, 14th, and 15th of December. A much larger storm system comes through. I picked an animation from Tropical Tidbits, great website. You can see the animation here of this upper level low. A lot of energy is within this storm system. The path will determine ultimate impacts across western U.S., around Colorado. If that path should change at all, much deeper snows and impact comes into the Denver metro area. But what that storm system is going to do is a series of things. Let's talk about snowfall first, since I'm a snow lover, and if you're watching me, you probably are too, or at least snow concerned. But we have a slight risk of heavy snowfall from the Sierras up into the Cascades. That's going to be the 14th to the 18th. 14th into the 18th for the Great Basin, parts of the Wasatch Range into the Colorado Rockies and the western slope there. 14th to 18th again for heavy snowfall, and the 14th and 15th for heavy snowfall, at least the potential, across the Dakotas, into Minnesota, and upper sections of Wisconsin. Temperatures likely much below average across the northwestern U.S. What about wind? That system's going to drive lots of heavy wind out across a good portion of the eastern half of the country here, upper Midwest out to the mid-Atlantic. It may generate some severe weather across the south. That would be possible. That's going to be generating quite a bit of thunderstorm activity around St. Louis, Memphis, Nashville, Dallas, Oak City. So we're going to have some rainfall totals in there that may be approaching 4, 5, 6, 7 inches. That's quite a bit of water. And of course, lots of water out to the west in rainfall form as well as snowfall form. This month of December has been valuable. Well, really, late November through December so far has been valuable for water in California. Normally December, we get into late fall, early winter. That's when we get most of our annual water here in California. So it's nice to see that rainfall to continue there. That's this version of the Daily Shower. Again, we kind of focused on the next 3 days and then that big storm system for next week, which will be really interesting to watch. And again, much more information on that locally for Colorado at weather5280.com. We'll see you the next time on the next Daily Shower. I'm Matt Makins.